Ever have one of those days where you're checking off tasks left and right, but by the end of it, you're left thinking, did I actually get anything done? You're not alone. I used to feel the same way, busy all day, yet still wondering if I'd accomplished anything meaningful. It's frustrating, right? You're putting in the effort, but is it really making a difference? That's when I decided to find a better way. In this video, I'm going to share the real secret to productivity. Spoiler: it's not about doing more. It's about doing what truly counts. And trust me, it's easier and more fun than you might think. Stick around, because by the end, you'll have the tools to turn your hectic days into truly productive ones. Have you ever spent hours working on something only to realize it didn't actually make a difference? Whether you're buried under emails, stuck in meetings, or drowning in assignments, it's easy to feel busy but not productive.
I used to be the king of multitasking.
Juggling emails, meetings, and multiple projects at once. But at the end of the day, I felt like I hadn't moved forward. That's when I started asking myself a simple question: is this really making an impact? When I shifted from just being busy to focusing on what truly mattered, whether it was a key project at work or studying the most important material for an exam, everything changed. Productivity isn't about doing more. It's about doing what truly counts. So, before your next task, ask yourself, is this moving me closer to my goal or just keeping me busy? Make impact your priority, whether you're working on a project, cramming for a test, or managing freelance work. You'll start to see real progress, not just a packed schedule. Ever notice how some tasks feel impossible in the afternoon, become easily in the morning? I used to think productivity meant squeezing every hour out of the day, staying up late, pushing through, trying to get everything done. But then I realized I wasn't just running out of time, I was running out of energy. So I flipped the script. Instead of forcing myself to work when I was drained, I started tackling my toughest tasks when I had the most energy, usually in the morning after a good night's sleep. Think of your energy like a battery. Don't try to power through on 10%. Charge up before tackling those big tasks. When your energy is high, your brain is more capable of handling complex tasks, making you more efficient and effective. That's why managing your energy, not just your time, is key to true productivity. Figure out when you're naturally more focused, creative, or energized, and schedule your most important work during those peak times. This way, you're not just working harder, you're working smarter. Ever try to focus, but your surroundings keep pulling you away? I used to work and study in a cluttered space. Papers scattered everywhere, phone buzzing, distractions all around. I thought I could just power through it, but every little interruption broke my focus. It wasn't until I cleared my workspace, silenced my phone, and optimized my environment that I noticed a huge difference. Tasks that used to drag on suddenly took minutes because I could finally concentrate. Think of your workspace like a Zen garden, except instead of sand and rocks, it's clutter and notifications you need to rake away. And if your phone mysteriously buzzes back to life after you've silenced it,
It might be time for a serious talk with your phone.
your environment plays a huge role in your productivity. It's not just about the tools you use, it's about how you set yourself up for success. Clear the clutter, reduce distractions, and create a space that helps you stay focused. Ever have one of those days where motivation is nowhere to be found? Don't worry, you're not alone, and there's a simple way to get going. Sometimes, getting started is the hardest part. That's where micro-motivation techniques come in handy. These are small, practical steps you can take to kickstart your motivation when it's running on empty. For example, commit to working on a task for just 1 minute. That's it, just 60 seconds. You'll be surprised how often that tiny action leads to a lot more. It's all about lowering the barrier to entry. Another trick? Set a mini challenge for yourself, like seeing how much you can get done in 10 minutes. Treat it like a game, race against the clock. Or try the 2-minute rule. If a task will take less than 2 minutes to complete,
Do it right away.
these little hacks can make a big difference in getting your productivity cycle started. So, the next time you're staring down a big task, start small. Pick a micro-motivation technique and just begin. Ever feel like you're running on fumes, but you keep pushing yourself, hoping to squeeze out just a little more? I used to think that the more hours I put in, the more I'd achieve. So, I kept grinding, late nights, early mornings, barely any breaks. One week, I worked almost non-stop, but by Friday, I was completely burned out. That's when I realized the importance of rest. I started prioritizing rest, taking short breaks, getting enough sleep, and sometimes just stepping away from work entirely. And guess what? My productivity skyrocketed. Taking breaks isn't a luxury. It's essential for staying sharp and performing at your best. You're not a machine, and even machines need a break. Just ask your phone after it's been on for too long. To stay productive, you've got to take care of yourself. This means regular breaks, proper sleep, and time to recharge. Do you ever feel overwhelmed because you're constantly saying yes to everything? I used to be that person, saying yes to every meeting, every side project, every favor. It seemed like the right thing to do, but before long, I was stretched so thin, I was practically transparent, with little time or energy left for what really mattered. The turning point came when I started practicing the art of saying no. It wasn't easy at first. I'm a recovering people pleaser. But I quickly realized how much it freed me to focus on what truly mattered. Saying no isn't about being selfish. It's about protecting your time and energy for the things that really count. Every time you say yes to something unimportant, you're saying no to something that could be truly impactful. So, learn to set boundaries and prioritize. Ever feel like your big goals are so far away that it's hard to stay motivated? I used to think only the big wins mattered. But after constantly feeling deflated by slow progress, I realized I needed a new approach. That's when I started celebrating the small wins, completing a task, learning something new, or even just sticking to my routine. Micro wins are like rungs on a ladder. Each one gets you a little closer to the top. By recognizing and celebrating these small victories, you build momentum and keep your motivation high. It's like leveling up in a video game. Each small achievement gets you closer to the big boss. Celebrating small wins triggers dopamine, keeping you motivated and on track. Ever wonder why sometimes you can get into a groove and everything just flows? It's not magic, it's the productivity cycle at work. Productivity isn't a straight line. It's more like a cycle. Here's how it works. You start with a bit of motivation, which leads to taking action. Completing that action gives you a sense of accomplishment, which boosts your motivation even more. And round it goes. The more you engage with this cycle, the easier it becomes to stay productive. The key to staying productive is starting small. Each completed task builds momentum, keeping the cycle going. Ever find yourself battling distractions, feeling anxious, or just plain unmotivated? You're not alone. These are productivity roadblocks we all face. The good news? There are simple ways to tackle them. Let's start with distractions. We all know that one notification can derail your entire focus. The fix? Make your phone disappear, seriously. Put it on silent and stash it in another room. And if it mysteriously finds its way back to you, it might be time for a serious talk with your phone. Next up, anxiety. It's tough to focus when you're worried about everything that could go wrong. A quick trick? Ask yourself, will this matter a year from now? Chances are, it won't. Focus on what you can control, like taking small steps forward and let go of the rest. And then there's lack of motivation. We've all had those days when even getting out of bed feels like a chore. On those days, remember, even making your bed counts as a victory. You've leveled up to adulting level 1. So, to recap, focus on impact, manage your energy, optimize your environment, prioritize recovery, master the art of saying no, embrace the productivity cycle, kickstart your day with micro-motivation techniques, and overcome common productivity challenges. Master these, and productivity becomes easy, plain, and simple. And remember, it's not about how much you do, but how much of it truly matters. Now that you've supercharged your productivity, it's time to take things up a notch. Hit subscribe for more tips and tricks, to keep you on track. Ready to elevate your game? Check out my next video, Becoming Smart, Easy, Plain, and Simple, where we'll explore practical strategies to sharpen your mind, make better decisions, and fully leverage your newfound productivity. Click here to watch and take your skills to the next level.